So, with all that said, we're going to be switching over to do Stadia now. And I'm going to have to do things in like a really weird, dumb way. So bear with me just a second while I kind of get all this moved around. I should probably have done this before coming back from the BRB. That would have, made more sense. I don't know why I didn't do that. Probably because it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. So what I have to do, because this is a Chromecast Ultra, I learned a cool feature about my monitor. So I have a 5120 by 1440 monitor that can do side by side. So it's like two 16 by 9s in one monitor. And when I do the when I do the picture by picture mode, the idea was I use my HDMI splitter and I split off the feed from the Chromecast. One will go to my actual monitor, so I can, like how I play games, it just goes to the one monitor, and I have OBS and everything off to the side, and it's fine. Come to find out that my monitor can actually take a 4K signal for some fucking reason. So the Chromecast was, and on top of that, you're also not able to specify the resolution that the Chromecast uses. So I have to basically grab my old monitor and set that on my desk because it's 1080p, and have the HDMI split go here so my capture card can still record it and everything's there. It's super annoying, but that's okay. Excuse me. So as you can see, I have the Chromecast plugged in right now. In fact, let me go ahead and yeah, there we go. I'm going to turn off the camera overlay for a little bit while we're doing this. So I actually did a little bit of homework. And by a little bit of homework, I mean I did a little bit of prep work for the stream. So this is where I was kind of hoping that more people would be around for this. But that's okay. So I opened the box. Actually, let me start from the beginning. So Google had a promotion where they were giving away the $100 Stadia kit with like the controller and the Chromecast Ultra. It was like $100, but the promotion, they were just giving it away. And I found out that because I have a family account, I can actually get each person on my family account to order one. So I ordered several, mostly because I wanted the Chromecasts. And I figured, yeah, this would be kind of fun to fuck around with the controller and just to see how Stadia like actually plays. Like, is it actually worth it? So now if I power on my controller here, it should automatically launch Stadia, I think. No, do I have to hit the button combo every time? No, I don't. Okay, it does launch. It just takes a while to get connected. Okay, that's weird. So I recorded me opening the box, and I recorded me setting things up just to kind of give you guys like a brief overview of how everything works. We're going to come back to Stadia here in a second. But here's the first video. This is the unboxing. So there's no audio here, so I'm just going to talk over it while we're doing this. So this first shot I deliberately kept as one long uncut shot, and you'll see why in a second. So we're just kind of taking a look at the box. It was a fairly nice box. If you've opened up a Google product in the last few years, like a HomePod or Google Mini, whatever the fuck they're called, you'll kind of know what you're getting into here. So as you can see, I'm popping the cellophane here. This is the first time I've opened it. There's no this is first experience for everything. So we go to open it up, and once we finally get it open, it takes me a while here. Come on. I was really hoping this would go a little faster, but there we go. So there we go. Stadia Premier Edition. So it's one of those boxes where like the top flips off. So I just kind of do that. So there's the Stadia controller up on top. I want to point out, look at the fucking right hand arm piece. It's scuffed. Like, look at that shit. It's actually scuffed. It came out of the box that way. Christ. Google's quality control isn't that great, but holy shit. As far as like total feel for the controller, if you've ever held a Nintendo Switch Pro controller, you'll kind of feel right at home. This is me just comparing it size-wise to the Xbox Elite controller. It feels a lot more like the Nintendo Switch controller in terms of like width. It is a little bit wider, and the sticks that it use are like the Switch Joy-Con sticks. So you get a charger dedicated just for the controller, and it's a just it's just a little wall board. I think it's like a 0.3 amp. Like it's not really that high powered. And then you get the power supply for the Chromecast and the Chromecast itself. One of my favorite things is that the power supply for the Chromecast Ultra is the one that you can plug Ethernet into, which is utterly fantastic. I've known those have existed for a long time. I could have bought one for my normal Chromecast, but it was like, eh. But now I just have one, so I don't have to do that. So that's fantastic. We're going to be using Ethernet for this test. In this is just the product and safety information, as well as like the quick setup guide. It's a pretty typical Google quick setup guide. I'll show it here in a second. I show each page here, but it's pretty straightforward. You load up the Google app and you hit the go button and you just do what you need to do. It walks you through the setup. It's pretty straightforward. The big thing about the Stadia controller is that the Stadia controller actually connects to your Wi-Fi, and then that connects to Stadia directly. It does not connect to your device first. The idea is that because they are two completely different streams, that you can get lower latency that way. We'll need to do some like hardcore testing on that to see if that's actually true. I don't believe that it would really make that much of a difference. And because of that, it makes it a little weird to use in some situations, but we'll talk about that later. So here's part 2. This is me actually setting it up on my phone. I had to use my Note 10 because, Stadia doesn't exist on iOS because Apple sucks. Again, if you've ever set up like a Chromecast or a Google Mini, it's pretty straightforward. You open up the app, you hit the add button. It pops up, it does the connecting. Blah, blah, blah. So this was actually really cool. It just automatically was like, yep, there's Ethernet, going next. So all we have to do is associate the device to where it's going to be. I have it set to shed because that's the joke. That is what my room is referred to in this house because it's just funny. And then, of course, you get pestered with like 47,000 different advertisements about what's going on. Please, Slack TV needs your money, that kind of thing. And then it updated. Updating took fucking forever, so most of that's been edited out. And here it asked me to set up my Stadia controller. So I started to do this. Turn on controller. Yeah, and then it actually walks you through this pretty like in-depth setup where the controller will actually like do different things and it'll tell you exactly what you're looking for and what's going on. So there, it's just kind of like vibrating to identify it, so you can make sure that it's actually identifying the correct controller. And then you've got setups and everything for that too, mostly because there is a microphone on the controller too for Google Assistant. So you need to be able to have privacy settings for that separate than the other stuff. And I typed in my password here. And here it is connecting to Wi-Fi. So cool. Downloaded an update. This took like fucking 10 years, but it's fine. So at this point, the update finished. And now you can kind of see how I had like my Chromecast in the background. So you can see what it was like to get it all set up. So at this point, I open up the controller. Stadia launches on the Chromecast. The Stadia app on my phone's ready to go at this point, so I could just hit play on the phone and go. But I'm trying to use the Chromecast, obviously. So even though we went through all of that, we now have to go to the app and pair that Chromecast to my account for some reason. I don't know why. I'm guessing because you can just launch the controller, but I feel like the controller should be the identifier for your account, and that should connect to Stadia. You shouldn't have to pair the individual Chromecast, but I don't know. It's probably some DRM bullshit. So there we go. It pairs really easily. It's not like super big deal. I've previously created my account with Stadia before doing this, so I just log into the existing account. And then basically it just loads the interface. And then once it loads the interface, you're good to pick a game and start playing. Takes a while for things to load, which is a little weird. All right, and there's the interface. You basically just find the game that you want to play and you hit the play button. It's really just that simple. I have a few games because I have a pro trial because of this. And yeah, that's basically it. That's the Stadia setup experience. So pretty straightforward, pretty simple, pretty easy. But now we're gonna see how Stadia actually plays. So for context, I have loaded up Stadia before. I loaded it up once on my phone and played for 2 minutes because I was just curious how it would look, like video quality wise, on my phone. So like I think I loaded up Destiny 2 or PUBG or something. So you might see some like pre-existing save data. But I haven't actually played anything, so it's not like you're going to be missing out on anything. So, okay. Let me turn the camera back on. Let me turn the camera back on. Oh, man. This AC adapter is really fucking good. Can you turn on now? There we go. There we go. All right. So with all that said, let's get into it. I think I'm gonna start with a round of PUBG, just because it's a game that I'm fairly familiar with. Not like Destiny 2, where it's like I don't really understand Destiny 2 and don't know a whole lot about it, so I don't know if I'll be picking like optimal anything really. I will say though, as far as like hitting the go button and playing a game, it actually does load up pretty fast. You're not in any chat now. Okay, thank you for telling me that, game. I don't want to connect a mic. Okay, connected, waiting for a response. This would actually be a pretty good game to like judge performance and graphics and everything. This is running in a really low resolution. Like, look at it. You can see the aliasing on the car. I picked up my mouse like that was gonna do something. How did I end up on ranked? Oh, the trigger. That's how. Yeah, there's like some aliasing going on. This is not very high resolution. I did not want to save a screenshot. Whoops. Can I see the graphics options? Oh, graphics. Cool. Oh. Yeah, okay, that makes sense, I guess. So I guess they just don't... I mean, like, it's a special version, so they just don't want us to see the... or to mess with the configs, but that's annoying. Yeah, this is definitely like a bespoke version just for Stadia. Okay. Yeah, fuck it. I guess let's just jump into a match. So why? There's definitely a little bit of delay, so I don't know how to demonstrate this. I can definitely feel the latency. I can hear it in the audio too. There's definitely a delay. We'll just do solo. Wow, this controller interface is kind of garbage for this game. Well, so far I will say, I haven't noticed any macro blocking or anything. You're not in any chat now. That's really annoying. Stop notifying me of that, game. Like I can look at this. It's definitely not running in 1080p. Like, I'll tell you that right now for a fact. It absolutely is not. There's no macro blocking. Oh, that is some gnarly input delay. Well, here's a fun thing to notice. Look at my ping. It's 10 milliseconds, 13 milliseconds. So I bet you Google Stadia is actually hosting the server themselves. But like, look at this. That really does not translate well on camera at all, does it? There's like a solid... It's not like unplayable. It's more like playing on like an HD TV that's kind of laggy. That's like a solid 35, 40 milliseconds. It's better than I expected. I will give the game that. It's better than I expected. Yeah. Kind of looks like shit though. Like, look at that aliasing. Oh, that looks awful. This is a really low resolution. I would be surprised if this was like over 1600 by 900. I mean, like, all in all, in terms of like, oh god, outside just looks awful. Yeah, this has got to be rendering in 720p. Unfortunately, you won't really be able to see it on the stream because I had to stream at 30 FPS today. But it is actually streaming 60 FPS video. But it's, yeah, it's not good. This is like really low overall graphics detail settings with a low resolution. Like, it feels like 720. Maybe 1366 by 768, but I doubt it. Like, it's very soft. But the actual streaming video itself looks fantastic. Like, if you told me that this was running on my computer in the other room and I was playing this in the living room, I'd probably believe you. Like, in terms of latency and in terms of how things look, like, it has that feel to it. So that would probably mean just needing to figure out games that are like better suited for that environment. So like, shooters probably would not be the game to play on here. But I can totally imagine playing games like Civilization, single player campaign games. RPGs would probably be fantastic. Mass Effect would probably play really well in this system. I'm getting some frame drops. See, it's really funny because like you can't tell if it's the game or if it's like the video feed that's causing the frame drops. Oh my god. These controls are actually awful. Dear god, is this actually what like console players put up with? Okay. Give me that ammo. Oh, this is like actually not good. Whoop. Who shot at me? Oh, I fired once? I didn't hit the trigger, but okay. Maybe the trigger's just super sensitive in this game. Okay, there's somebody. Okay, so if I hold, I just get that, but if I tap, I go first person. Okay. So it's just like mouse in that regard. Oh, there is some delay on this. Oh, it's skipping frames too. Come on. Come around the corner. Okay. Well, I want to leave the match. I want to see what my death cam was. Bad. That's how enjoyable this match was. Bad. Damn, I got fucking tapped by like the PUBG god over here. He's been playing on Stadia since day one. Okay, so he fucking lagged too. Wow. See, that was funny because I did stutter there, but that was like server lag. That was like game lag. Because he had it too. Okay, PUBG, definitely not the game to play. So let's exit game. I'm not a fan of this overlay. Just shapes and beats. Oh yeah. Rhythm games over a latency filled connection. There's no possible way that can end horribly. The hell is Krata? Okay, there's like some of these games would actually be like really fun and like a good idea to have on Stadia. Like Get Packed here. This is like a fantastic thing to what? Okay. This is like the kind of game that you'd want to have on Stadia. Maybe. Okay, sure. Why is it taking so long to load? Isn't Stadia supposed to be on like super powered PCs? Okay, so here we are again. We're running at a lower native resolution. There doesn't seem to ever be any anti-aliasing enabled. So, that's interesting. Okay. That's weird that they have that blurb there, but sure. Okay, I actually have no desire to play this game, so we're gonna, not. Let's try a different shooter. One that's not bad. Oh, super hot. Okay, that could be fun. Yeah, fuck it. Let's try super hot. This is not it's It's running at a weird resolution. Pipes. That better be what I think it is. It kind of is. Okay. Alright, let's play the actual game. I'm starting to think it might be 1366 by 768 or 1600 by 900 or somewhere in between those two. Because there's non-perfect integer scaling here. What the fuck? Okay. Oh, jeez. Okay. So I don't know if that was Stadia. Yeah, that was Stadia dropped some frames. Whoa. Oh, aiming is super difficult. Yeah, there's definitely some real noticeable latency. Oh, jeez. Okay. There's definitely some latency, and it's definitely getting in the way. Oh, I'm about to die. Just shoot that guy in the dick. Cool. Why do I throw the gun at the end of every round? What? Oh, damn. Yeah, okay. Super Hot's decent. But again, like shooters on it are never going to be good. Let's see. Let's do Grid, because that's a racing game. You know, that's something else that would probably need. Like, it's really it's strange because like all the things that they're picking, all the games that they're picking are like games that need low latency to play, and just I don't know, like. Oh god. The screenshot button is like right where I think like the start button would be on a normal controller. Yeah, okay, whatever. Let me go. Signing into RaceNet. Okay. Sure, whatever. You know, all the hype about like each Each game instance having like a dedicated like super GPU. I don't know. Maybe the developers have like they can pay for like different tiers of hardware. So like PUBG was like baby mode bad GPU. I don't know. Can I skip this? I love watching my pre-rendered video drop frames because of network delay. Real cool, guys.
What can top the WSR?
I just
How can you top this season?
On the road
I just want to play.
Series, we can expect more action, more drama, and it's all happening right here in the WSR.
Okay, so this game's definitely running at a higher resolution. Nope, and immediately drop back down. Yeah, this is pretty low resolution. Like, if I had to guess, I would spitball it at 720p. But this game, it seems like it's actually rendering the UI at a higher resolution, and then it's downscaling the 3D. So like PUBG looked like it was actually just rendering the whole game at like a lower resolution, like 720, 1366 by 768. This game, thank you. This game definitely has the like you can tell that the UI is like absolutely rendering at a higher resolution. But like the 3D is just not. There's like not really any anti-aliasing like ever. And on top of that, it's at a low resolution. No. I'm bad. Fuck. At least I'm in 5th place. See, this is a game that actually manages the latency really well. This one doesn't really feel... Wow, what a dick. Yeah, this one doesn't really seem that affected by the
That wrapped up, it's over to Indianapolis.
by latency.
It's gotta be the one to watch.
Yeah, you won't want to miss it, Alex. The Grid World Series is so close you can touch it. I reckon there's going to be a brawl out there to make it through.
This is a pre-rendered video. You can tell because the 3D is actually at a decent resolution.
Sticking close to the rear, hunting for that
Can we? I don't care. I just want to play the game.
They've lost control. The other team now looking to capitalize.
Tire to tire, someone's not coming out of this.
Oh god, I'm actually in the game now. Oh fuck!
Easy, easy. Okay, good work there. You did well. Now let's go. Get right behind the car ahead and draft. Use the extra speed to get past.
I'm really not that good at like hardcore simulation racing games.
2 laps left.
Duh. God. Bless it. No, let me drift. Let me drift, please. I got this. I'm figuring this out.
Okay, white flag. Push now, come on.
Fuck. Fuck. Balls. Yeah, that game's kind of just not fun, so we're just gonna not play that. My back fucking hurts. Sitting in this chair for too freaking long. Alright, we'll check out Krata, and then, because I have no idea what the hell this is. And then I think that will do it for us looking at Stadia, because, wow, it's not good. It's an interesting concept, but, like, oh god, I saw that macro blocking there for a second. Oh, what the fuck? It's, like, low resolution and, like, point filtered? No. What is this? Is this like Second Life? Is this like PlayStation Home? What is that sound I'm hearing? Create as a game platform where you can play games and work collaboratively with other creators. Oh, okay. It's fuck, whatever it's called. Dreams? I really don't care. Sure, whatever. I don't care. Okay. It's, yeah, this is literally just... Interesting. Okay. Okay, the floor is lava. That could be fun. I'm definitely seeing macro blocking in this game, whereas I didn't on the others. That's strange. I don't understand the screenshot, though. It's like it was taken at like a really high res and then squished down and then scaled back up. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can see, you can practically smell the pixels. And there's like weird ghosting on it too. Oh, I don't know. That was giving me a headache. Okay. So I just sat through that huge loading time to sit through another. Oh my god. I don't understand how people can put up with this. This is fucking garbage. Like, imagine paying $100 for this. That's what I don't understand. It's $100. And then you've got to pay for the games on top of it. Like, you get some games for free in the monthly sub, but, like, no. And, like, the controller's not even, like, that good. The build quality on it, like, it's really cheap plastic. Oh my god. Game? Okay. What was the point of that? Do I have to climb up? Oh, I do. Okay. Like, obviously, this one wasn't designed by, like, a real video game designer. So I can't be, like, too harsh on it. But at the same time, whoever designed this sucks at level design. I'm an asshole. It's like, this isn't, like, really that difficult. And, like, it's also super easy to cheese. Because, like, there's been a few times where, like, I've very clearly fallen in the lava. And it just hasn't mattered because... Like right there. Like, I was very clearly standing on the lava. And the game was just like, nah, it's fine. Ooh, look at that Z fighting. Nice. Did that actually... Is this where I need to go? I think so. Okay. To get over there, okay. I've, like, not heard of this game. And I don't know if it's just because I'm not the target market, or if it's because it's Stadia exclusive and I just don't care. Oh, back roll? Yeah, okay. I think we go this way. Nope, I clearly picked wrong. What? What? How did I fall to my death? Did that count as a lava hit? What? Is there fall damage in this game? There cannot be fall damage in your platforming game. Like, even if you're like an amateur and you're like a fucking idiot and you don't know what you're doing, like, you know to not do that because that's bad. Okay. All right. So that was a thing. Oh my god, this is awful. I can't do this. This is just awful. Holy shit. See, here's the thing that I don't get, is that this is a very clearly higher resolution image of the same thing. So I'm wondering if they're downscaling the game in like a weird way, and that's why it's all like not shaping correctly. I don't fucking know. I also like that you can't actually like browse any more games or buy any games from the thing. You have to use your phone. That's a really cool feature. All right, fuck it. Let's try this game. What's the worst that could happen? This one's definitely gonna be my last one though, because like I am. Ugh. Okay. Okay, sure. I have to pay for the DLC. Fuck off. Wanted for protagonizing. So it's just... I don't know what the point of this is. Oh, damn it! I wanted to get 1337, but okay. Sure, whatever. It's choosing a character class. Okay, I can be a cowpuncher, I can be a bean slinger, or a snake. Wait, God, this music is so fucking loud. I want to be a cowpuncher. That sounds awesome. Okay. The writing on this game's pretty good so far, not gonna lie. That's a little annoying. This weird poster appeared here one night that they showed WASD, but it's clearly everything else is updated for controller layouts. That's... Okay. I'm gonna miss you, buddy. Feed Russell a cricket. Okay. Sure. Yeah, okay, whatever. We're gonna miss you, and before I got you a present. It's the book you wanted from Crimbo. I know it's early, but... The one about desert survival? That sounds fun. Okay. Who are you? Oh, that's my father. That hat doesn't fit you. I'll grow into it. Oh, it's my grandmother's brass knuckles. Okay. Sure. Your brother Rufus is standing nearby. I still don't understand why you're leaving. He's got a point, you know. Why are you going west anyway? To get off the stupid farm. But it's so dangerous. 60% of the people who go west get killed within a year. That statistic is from before the cows came home. Alright, whatever. Hey, I got a needle from the haystack. Cool. Okay, so I need to... Oh, it's already equipped. Okay. You accidentally squeezed the book into book juice, which turns out isn't a real thing. Aw, that's unfortunate. Yeah, let's go west. Yeah, whatever. Skip the cutscenes. Don't care. You just skipped a credit sequence where your character wrote a turn apart across the grave. Highlights of the trip include... Okay. This game's got an interesting... It's got an interesting aesthetic. Oh, I just have done dog poo. Or horse poo, I guess. Gone drinking. Okay, well, let's go to the bar. Hey, where's your hat, dagnabbit? You can't drink in here without a hat. Okay. Sure. Spit. You know, without even looking into it, that's absolutely disgusting. Let's look into it. Regular spit, gross tobacco spit, chewing gum, and it looks like a few teeth as well. It's disgusting. And the smell. Look closer. You're now on your hands and knees, peering into a filth-encrusted spittoon. I don't understand what's wrong with you. Wait, is there something shining at the bottom? Of course. Feel your... Before you touch it, you can feel the grossness in the air. Like a greasy fog. Never surrender. Makes a sound like glop. Your skin is burning. Your eyes start to water. Search. You appear to have gotten some kind of ring. Probably some kind of disease as well. Cool. What do you say, Pete? Okay. This is an interesting game. For sure. Welcome to Boring Springs. On the sheriff in these parts. The what? The sheriff, okay? Blasted sign painters. Okay. This is actually kind of fun. I might need to look into playing this game not on Stadia, whatever. Why don't you do it? You're the sheriff after all. Gotta stay here and practice with my chair tipping. Okay, sure, whatever. You deputized a gun? Okay. Oh, this is actually like really interesting. Yeah, the doctor's close. Is that a face? You approach the weird cactus man hybrid. Hi to yourself, and the name's Bill. Cactus Bill. What happened to you? Well, to be honest, partner, I drank too much cactus beer and it turned me into a cactus. Doc Alice warned me this would happen, but I didn't listen. And that's why they call you Cactus Bill? No, that's just a coincidence. Oh, does it hurt? Does what hurt? You know, being a cactus. Oh, haha, no, it's actually kind of nice. The natural fermentation processes inside the cactus part of me keep me pretty drunk most of the time. I guess it is a mite boring. Yeah. Wouldn't be so bad if I had something to read. You don't happen to have a newspaper or anything, do you? Okay, I just need to find a newspaper. You seriously doubt that his name is Braid? Car's dicker in. Okay, well, I gave him my needle and I got some dynamite, so that's cool. Okay. Is that a coconut? That is a coconut, but I can't interact with it. That's fine. You're not allowed to Topeka anymore, remember? Oh, okay. Well, interesting game for sure. I'm definitely going to look into playing that at some point in time. But, no, I think that's going to do it for my Stadia, like, first impressions. I'm not impressed. Like, maybe if you're somebody who is just... I don't know. Because, like, a lot of the titles that they give are, like, pretty fucking hardcore. Like, Grid, super hardcore racing game. PUBG and Destiny 2 are, like, pretty intense shooters. And then they also, like, add in, like, weird, like, somewhat casual games. But then they also have stuff like Metro 2033. So it's like, I don't know. Like, it just doesn't... The loadout just... The selection of games just doesn't really make much sense to me. I don't understand. Because a lot of the games that, like, you'd probably want to play if you didn't have a good enough computer, it would be very frustrating to try to play because, like, no, you don't have to have things downloaded. You just hit a button and it goes. But you have to have a decent internet connection for that kind of thing. So I don't feel like the market of people who have, like 200, 300 megabit per second connections that also don't have an existing box, whether it's a computer or a console, for playing these games. It just that doesn't seem like a market to me. Like that's a very niche targeted set of people. I don't know. Like, it just doesn't. I don't know. Stadia just doesn't make sense to me. Like, there's no way for Stadia to make sense to me. It makes sense when you consider about all the things that they were doing about, like, how, you can just instantly stream to YouTube and like all that, or you could, like, when you're seeing somebody streaming to YouTube, you can, like, press a button and join their game. Like, that stuff sounded fucking fantastic. That was a really interesting concept, and that kind of makes it make sense. But, like, not like this. Like, it's just you have to have games on your game platform, and they have the games. They have Destiny 2, they have Doom Eternal, but, like, those are all games that just don't work with high latency. And it just, it's baffling. I don't get it. But that's okay. That's why we did this. So, maybe I'll do another revisit to Stadia in the future. We'll see. But, yeah, that was Stadia. I don't have anything else to say. In fact, actually, I think now's probably a good place to end the stream. That was weird. Today's stream was just weird. between the Cold War nonsense and between this. It's been a day. Well, at any rate, I appreciate y'all for coming out and for watching while you did. It was a lot of fun. Let's see. Who's online that I can raid? Sugar's online. Let's raid Sugar. Raid Sugar. Why did it unmute me? That's cool. Alright, guys. Well, it's a lot of fun. And I hope you all have a good night. How do I trigger raids? I'm an old man. I don't understand how this works. Bye, everybody.